So this kind of domain questions always give a lot of students a lot of troubles, but it's okay. So this kind of domain questions always give a lot of students a lot of trouble, but it's okay because today I will show you how to find the domain of such a function. Especially if you are taking precalculus right now, this is something that you definitely have to know. So have a look. Firstly, let's look at the structure of the function. We have square root of something inside, and then we have the expression in the denominator. So there are two things for us to worry about. First thing first, let's take care of the denominator first. Right here, whenever we have a top expression over the bottom expression, we have to make sure that the bottom is not equal to 0 because we cannot divide it by 0. Does the top matter? It depends on what kind of things that we have on the top. But just because of this, I'm just going to go ahead and look at the bottom, and I'm going to make sure that it's not equal to 0. So I'm going to write down x squared plus 3x minus 4, make it not equal 0. Once you have this, you can solve it the usual way. Just treat it like an equation. We can factor it. We get x minus 1 times x plus 4. This is not equal to 0. And then x minus 1 is not equal to 0. X plus 4 is not equal to 0. Add 1 to both sides. X is not equal to 1. Subtract 4 from both sides. X is not equal to negative 4. So by doing this, we found two numbers that we cannot use for these numbers, for this function. Because if you plug in 1 into the bottom expression, you get 0, which is bad. Likewise, if you plug in negative 4, it's also bad. Now, the second thing is that because we have the square root, remember that if we have a square root of an expression inside, we have to make sure that the inner function here, this has to be greater than or equal to 0. Just the inside, right? Just the inside. Now, because we have square root of x plus 2, that's on the inside. So that means I'm going to write that down, x plus 2, and have to make sure that it's greater than or equal to 0. Square root of 0 is okay. Square root of negative numbers will give you complex numbers, which is not going to be able to work out the graph for you. That's why for the domain, we want the square root of a positive number or 0. So just like this. Now, to work this out, I can just subtract 2 from both sides. So we get x is greater than or equal to negative 2. And then it seems that we are done. Well, we have to remember, not only we need the first condition right here, we also need the second condition. The best thing for us to do is to look at a graph. So right here, if you look at the graph, I'm going to do this in red. Put a smaller number on the left, put a bigger number on the right. X cannot be equal to negative 4. So it's an open circle. X cannot be equal to 1. Open circle, we're excluding these numbers. But anything else is okay. So you can just kind of like take that, shading, and then just take that. So that's the picture way to show these two inequalities. Now for this though, we are going at negative 2. We are including negative 2, so we use a closed circle. X is greater than or equal to this number, so we go to the right. So here is what we are going to do next. We are going to look at this and that together and then just combine the conditions together. And the best way for us to do so is to line them up and then just look for the overlapping part. So for the first one, negative 4, 1, open, open, and then everything else is okay. And the second one, when you line them up, be careful. The negative 2, it's going to be somewhere in between of negative 4 and 1. I'm just going to mark it right here. And we are getting a closed circle and then all the way to the right. So remember, it's this condition along with that. So we must satisfy both. We're looking at the overlapping part. In fact, we don't care about anything that's below negative 2. So this right here is what we need. So the final result is that we have to start at -2. We are including -2. But when we go all the way to the right here it says do not include the 1. So at 1, you have to put an open circle. You just have to skip this number and then you keep on going. So this is the final graph for the domain of this function. Now, most likely you will be doing what we call the interval notation. So I will go over this with you guys real quick. And I have another video going over how to write an interval notation from the graph, also from the inequality. Make sure you guys check that out if you need more practice with that. And this is how we do it. We have this interval. We start at -2 and we end at 1. Just this piece. We are including -2, so we will use the square bracket. So we do like this. But we are not including the 1, so we use the open parentheses like this. This means we are including this number, and the parentheses means not including. Alright, and then we have another piece. We're going to put together with another piece. We put down the U, which stands for union. So let me just perhaps write this down. This is the union. And then for the other piece, we start at 1. And we go all the way to the right. And that idea is past infinity. Now, what do we need to put for the 1? If you say parentheses, good, that's right. Because again, we are not including the 1. Right? We're not including the 1. How about infinity? Well, the truth is, we can never include infinity. So it's always parentheses. So again, parentheses when we don't have the end values. So this right here is how most likely you are going to present the answer when you have a domain of a function question. Hopefully this helps. And of course, I have other videos that will help you to practice this a lot better.